And sports fans, it's once again time for the Sunshine Sports Report on 904 Live. I'm your host, Greg Daniels, and we are going to have via phone line, we're going to have David Levin. And David is a sports writer for Black and Teal, which covers the Jaguars. He's also part of the Marlin Maniac, which covers the Florida, Miami Marlins, and he's written for 32, Cover 32, Bleacher Report, and 24/7 Sports. So, David, welcome to the Sunshine Sports Report.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me on. How y'all doing?
Oh, really great, really great. Hope you're safe and quarantined and all that good stuff.
Well, yeah, the four walls are caving in a little bit, but yes, quarantined and doing what we're supposed to do. I hope everybody out there's listening and keep warnings and keeping safe tonight.
Absolutely. I've been following you for a long time, actually, David. I follow you on your pages on Facebook and social media, and I know for a fact that you're a big sports fan, as well as being in the business. I know you like football and definitely baseball. You're a baseball fan, so we'll talk a little baseball in just a minute. And once again, before we get started, we're talking to David Levin of fansided.com. We're talking to David Levin about sports. And I guess the biggest sports team that you cover in this area would be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Definitely.
And they haven't played since December, but they have been making news every day since their last snap. And the latest, I guess, right now would be their defensive end, Ngakoue. Ngakoue has been franchised. The franchise tag has been put on him. It doesn't look like he's going to be happy to play for the $19 million, which the tag entails.
Actually, it's 17.8.
Okay.
Determined by the NFL. Originally, it was supposed to be 19.3, but when the new collective bargaining agreement went into effect and the season began on the 18th, financially, the franchise tag for a defensive end took a little bit of a dip this year. However, $17.8 million is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Especially when you have a defensive end who played the last year of his rookie deal. He only made $2.02 million. So, I mean, that's not chump change.
No, it's not.
It's not.
But yeah, but it's a big improvement. Now, he's trying to get $21 million per year, a long-term contract, and much of that guaranteed. Do you know exactly what he's actually asking the Jaguars for?
Okay, well, let's I guess let's pan this whole out for you.
Okay.
Okay, originally he wanted a long-term deal with the Jaguars. I'm going to go over the scenario with you over the last 10 months. That's okay.
Sure.
Originally he wanted a long-term deal with the Jaguars, and they started negotiating with him off-season last year prior to the start of training camp. They offered him a short-term deal, and what I mean by short-term deal is they offered him 4 years, not the traditional 5, which players usually get for their second contract in the NFL. I mean, that's when I say traditional, I'm talking about the top players in positions. They're all pros or Pro Bowl players who've been in the Super Bowl, or elite players.
Right.
He was looking for a 5-year deal, and most of them, it works out that way. Unfortunately, unless you're the Jaguars, they hardball. They did not offer him the 5 years. I believe it was 4 years, where it was an average of $19 million per season, and it was close to $50 million up front, guaranteed money. And he turned it down. Now, I don't know all what went on behind the scenes,
Right.
I would need to call, Greg, I swear, I would call my 20-year-old and I'd say, hey, Ben, what does this mean? Because I didn't understand any of it. I'm an old guy here.
Right.
So I have to keep up with the lingo and what it really meant. He isn't happy here. And I know that when the contract was up, I believe the NFL season starts on Sunday, I think 18th of March. So on the 17th, that was his last technical day as a Jacksonville Jaguar. But they placed a franchise tag on him prior to the end of the year, which means he has a certain amount of time to sign a contract tender for this $17.8 whatever million dollars. He's technically not a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars yet because he hasn't signed it.
Right.
But the Jaguars earn his rights, which means if they were to trade him, it works a deal out. I know that you've heard teams that are floating around. There's, there's the Jets, there's Philadelphia, there's the Giants, there's
Right.
the Bills, there's all these teams. That he would need to sign that tender, and then the Jaguars would trade him to various teams. And Seattle is also a team that's considered one of those front runners.
Right.
Then they would pick up, that money would come off the salary cap for the Jaguars. Because it's on the salary cap, it's included in the salary cap right now. But that would mean that any team that traded for him, in whatever trade deal they make, that team would accrue that money. So that's $17 or $18 million, whatever you want to call it, comes off the Jaguars' books and is immediately placed into the salary cap of the other team. I'm not really good with numbers. This is why I write for a living. Hated high school, hated college, became a writer. But I studied it quite a bit, at least enough so that I don't sound stupid when I talk. And I've asked many people to help me with that. The Jaguars would then trade his rights to whatever various team it is.
We'll say that he goes to Philadelphia.
Right, I know that's the hot name right now. So he goes to Philadelphia. Philadelphia offers the 23rd pick in the draft, or whatever the number was, 21 or 23 or whatever it is, and other compensation for him. Maybe it's a second round pick this year, it's a first round pick next year. Philadelphia then is awarded, Himi Ngakwe, and they also have, they have draft compensation they give up. That's what Jacksonville's looking for a first round pick. There is no doubt about that. I don't know if it happened the way that many people think, where the Jaguars accrue a third first round pick this year, or it's tacked on to 2021. Given that the Jaguars have so many picks this year, it almost makes, I hate saying it this way, but it almost makes no sense to accrue one more first round draft pick, given that so much money is taken out of the salary cap to cover your draft picks. I just don't know how that operates.
Right. Yeah. To me, because they are, what's the number of draft picks they have this year? It's like
right now they have 12.
They got 12, so they really don't need a 13th or a 14th draft pick for this year.
Right. I don't.
So, yeah, go ahead. So it would make sense to maybe get one more draft pick, possibly package that draft pick and for a trade for a guard or tackle.
They could do that, or they could package picks to move up in the draft.
Or that.
Where they would have an opportunity to, the draft is weird. You see people slide all the time.
Right.
The first round pick that you thought for sure was going to be there, with the first 32 picks. Well, they have a run on a quarterback, so they have a run on wide receivers, and an offensive tackle or a guard or a center or somebody slides. Well, Jacksonville can move up, and they have their targets. And I've always believed that if you have a target and he's available, and unless it's really odd circumstances, you go ahead and draft a player that you're enamored with. And granted, you and I have been following the Jaguars for a while. You know that doesn't always work.
Right.
Some of those draft picks are questionable.
Yeah, they've been questionable in the past. But I have to admit though, Dave Caldwell has come up with some pretty good picks over the last few years. Some of them haven't all panned out, but a lot of them have. And I feel confident that if they get the number of picks they have now, at least half of them should be on an NFL roster 3 or 4 years down the line.
Most definitely. Most definitely. You hope that, looking at the scale, everybody, let's say you have 7 because there's 7 rounds.
Right.
So you want 75% of those 7 still on your roster in 3 years. And because there's 7, and if you have 7 picks, it's a good bet that those 7 players make your roster. The NFL did right in limiting the draft rounds so that more players would have a chance to make teams. And I know there's the practice squad and their trades made and things like that.
Right.
But Dave Caldwell has done a really good job of finding players recently, and I'm going to say 2000. I'll include Blake Bortles in this. I'll say 14 through 19. He's done a fairly good job.
Yes, he has.
I know that Dante Fowler and Jalen Ramsey are no longer part of the team, but those were shrewd moves.
They were.
I don't think they got the full impact from Dante Fowler that they should have. I know that they had the injury the first year where he blew his knee out, and then he was injured. And he had some troubles on and off the field.
Right.
And granted, they didn't always see eye to eye in the front office with him.
And he was good, and not only that, but one of his problems was that the Jaguars had Calais Campbell and they had Ngakoue.
Right, they drafted Ngakoue the year after, and Ngakoue just shined. He had 8 sacks as a rookie, which was the team record that was broken last year by Josh Allen. And to a man, he just outperformed him. I mean, if you're good, you're going to play. And I think that part of the problem was that he lost his rookie year. So he came, it's his second year. He's watching, he's studying, but he's a year behind. And maybe that's part of the problem. He didn't produce like he was expected to. And, like I said, you and I both know there were other issues that they were dealing with.
Right. But he just signed a big contract with whom?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, he just signed. So, and it was a decent signing for him. So he is definitely.
$48 million.
Yeah, he's definitely an NFL player, and he should help the Falcons. One of the things I liked about Fowler, as opposed to Ngakoue, was he was a more rounded defensive end. He not only was a pass rusher, but he also covered the run a little better, and he was just around the ball to me more than Ngakoue.
At certain points, yes, and you're right. He did help with the run a lot more than Ngakoue did. But I also thought about this the other day when we were talking about complete players. I had a conversation with one of my writers over at Fansided. Ngakoue isn't being asked to stop the run. All he's being asked to do is put pressure on the quarterback and strip the ball. They're 2 different skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
Fowler wasn't as quick as Ngakoue, but you're right. He's a more rounded player because he fit a different purpose than the scheme that was designed for Campbell and Ngakoue to play together. You're dead on about that.
Yeah, we're speaking with David Levin, sports writer for the Fansided.com, and we're talking right now. We're talking about the Jaguars. You touched on it just a couple of minutes ago. The draft will start 3 weeks from tonight. As a matter of fact, the first pick would probably already been taken 3 weeks from probably right now.
Right now, I mean, like right smack now.
Yeah, right now. So where did the Jaguars go with their first pick? The pick number 9, I believe.
Okay, do you want the logical answer or do you want the realistic
I want both of them.
Okay. All right. Realistically, I'm pretty sure they're looking to get a defensive tackle in the first round. Whether it's Derek Brown of Auburn, who I really like, he's an SEC, all SEC player. There's also Javon Kinlaw, who's another defensive tackle from South Carolina. I think they're hoping that Brown is there. It depends on maneuverability and who picks quarterbacks in the top 5.
Right.
He's the guy I think
Well, I've seen Okuda not getting past the third pick. Some people, in fact, say that Okuda may be the best player in the entire draft.
I tend to agree with that. He has a skill set, just as an athlete, that's pretty impressive. He is the best defensive back to come out since Jalen. And he would fit right in the system with the way that Todd Wash, the defensive coordinator, plays his secondary moves with a single high safety with the cornerbacks moving over. He's ideal. You're right. They would probably have to make a trade where maybe they wait and they use Ngakoue as trade bait. You know, Detroit's sitting there at 3. They need a defensive end. They can still possibly get a cornerback at 9.
Yeah.
Something like that, where they would package the 9th pick and Ngakoue to move up to 3. I don't know what. I know that there's a scale that you have to use to, I guess for leverage as far as a level trade. So I don't know all that encompasses that, but it does work.
Okay. So now you gave us the logical answer of a defensive tackle. What's the other answer?
The other answer is that I believe you win up front no matter what, whether it's your offensive or defensive line. And while the Jaguars did a good job in free agency to find players that they could plug in the middle with Rodney Gunter and Al Woods, who are run-stuffing defensive tackles,
Right.
they didn't address their offensive line. And there's Mekhi Becton, the big 6'7", 364-pound offensive tackle from Louisville is there at 9, who also runs a 5'1", 40-yard dash. He's big, he's quick, he's strong, he's bigger than any tackle they have on their roster right now. If he's sitting there,
Right.
I'm looking to grab him and then use the 20th pick in the first round. Just remember they have 2 this year.
Yes.
I'm looking to move up and maybe try and grab Kinlaw second.
You think Kinlaw will make it into the mid-20s?
With Kinlaw, no. I think that the Jaguars would use the 20th pick and their extra draft picks to move up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe to 12, 13, something like that. They could also use Ngakoue that way too, as part of a draft package, to move up the 20th pick and Ngakoue to, the Jets are sitting there at 11. I've heard the Jets are interested in him. Maybe that works out too, so they get an offensive tackle or defensive tackle. Here's something crazy because we know the defense is so bad. What if they were able to get Brown at 9, and at 11 they worked to deal with their 20th pick and Ngakoue, the Jets, and they got Kinlaw as well. And that's John Henderson and Marcus Stroud on the group.
Okay. That sounds great for a Jaguar fan. Now, where do you fall on Gardner Minshew? Is he the next coming, or is he a stopgap?
No, I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. I don't know if the Jaguars have patience. And what I mean by that is that he, and you've studied film, you've seen him at games, you see him play. He is developing as he goes. He's very smart. He reads defense as well. He picks things up. He's a game manager, but he's also the most exciting quarterback they've had since Brunell. I think that he is a guy that can become an all-pro quarterback, or a Pro Bowl quarterback. I didn't say all-pro yet, but a Pro Bowl quarterback. And he's the kind of guy that can throw for 4,200 yards and 28 touchdowns. He's mobile. He's a new wave of quarterback. He's not on the same level with Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson.
Right.
But he's right there a step below.
I call him very clever in the pocket.
Yes, he is. He's got great footwork and he's got great pocket awareness. And that's what the Jaguars need. Let's be honest. I like Blake Bortles as a person. I think Blake Bortles got a bad rap. I think that if Blake Bortles had been the 32nd player, remember Teddy Bridgewater was the last first-round pick.
Right.
In 14. If that had been Blake, then the rap wouldn't have been so bad. It's because you're a top-flight quarterback and you are still developing that it wasn't the most ideal situation for him.
Okay. Now, Leonard Fournette is one of the players we kind of mentioned as far as a Caldwell draft pick. I mean, all in all, when you look at his total work, Fournette has been pretty good. Now, is
For year one and three, year two was
yeah,
just a disaster.
right? Yeah. Well, he was hurt most of the year. The offensive line was really even worse than it was last season.
Right. Right. You're right.
So,
Injuries
yeah.
and misassignments, and there was no continuity.
But
You're right on that.
there's no guarantee, as Todd Gurley found out, as the Atlanta Falcon running back found out. There's no guarantee, even though you're a Pro Bowl running back, that you have longevity with any NFL team.
Right.
And
The thing about Gurley and Devontae Freeman, they've been injured, and that's when you go to when you have a guaranteed contract, you have a contract that is backward instead of frontward. It is hard to tell a player, I'm going to pay you X number of dollars on the back end of your contract if you can't stay healthy.
okay,
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say that a player, it's not a player's fault if they can't stay healthy, but at the same time, an owner's not going to pay $10 million to any player that can't contribute to over 16 games.
now let me ask you something. Since you mentioned the way a contract is structured, now you say that a contract is backloaded like Freeman's was. Now
No, I'm saying if the contract was backloaded.
okay.
Yeah, I know that certain contracts, because of the salary cap, because of the way that they've structured veteran quarterbacks, they will purposely backload a contract with offsetting language, which will either allow the player to opt out of the contract or will give the team the option to keep or retain.
Okay. So that money is not really guaranteed then if it's backloaded.
In some instances, it really depends on the language. I know that there's other people out there that are a lot more knowledgeable about that, and I'm probably not the one to speak completely on it.
Okay, well we'll talk. We'll talk about them because I think we probably need to talk about capology.
And you know what? That's a conversation for another night where we can just sit and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about capology because there's all kinds of questions I have for you. But let me ask you this one, and it really begs to answer. Now,
Sure.
last year, Shad Khan said, we will put a winner on the football team, meaning the 2019 Jaguars should be a winner. If not, then we're going to do something different. Well, they weren't a winner, and other than Tom Coughlin not being part of the equation, are they really doing something different? And moreover, will the fan base stand for it?
There are, realistically, I personally believe yes, they're doing something different. Because David Caldwell and head coach Doug Marrone now answer to Shad.
Right.
There's no middleman. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I do believe that they have gotten younger, and I know that they believe that they had to make decisions with veteran contracts. Whether we have our favorites. We love Jalen.
Right.
We love Calais.
A.J. Boye.
Right. We love these guys. And Marcel and
Right.
Malik Jackson, about 2 years ago, and all these players. We love them. But if you think about it, with the roster they had the last 2 years, they weren't winning. And however good they may be, there's sometimes that continuity that happened in 2017 when you come back and you kick the tires and you down to a place where you're not familiar with, and you try and duplicate the same thing. It doesn't always happen. And whether that means 2017 was a fluke, which I don't think it was. I think the honest to goodness, the personnel was there. I think the injuries really hurt them in 2018, as we know. It seemed like every week another player was going down for the season. Fournette was hurt. Wide receivers didn't produce. The offensive line was terrible. The defensive line wasn't through. AJ was hurt for 3 or 4 games. All those things play into it. And you have to, I guess, you have to prepare for that. The Jaguars were incredibly healthy in 2017. They were very fortunate.
Right.
And then last year, they started out well, 2-2, and they're talking about it, and then, the instruments are on in the second one. And I think that set the tone for what's happening. Now, I know that, that it's all public. There were things that Tom Coughlin and the front office did that was, I don't know, that takes me
David?
as far as, but
Oh, hold on. You were cutting out. What did you say again? Repeat what you just said.
I said, we know that when 2019 rolled around and they were 2-2 and it looked like they were starting to turn things around after Nick got hurt and Minshew was playing well.
Right.
Jalen and the altercation on the sideline after week 2 started to creep into the everyday foundation of what they were doing. It set a tone and it became a distraction. And he didn't play, and it hurt the defense. The defense looked terrible, and then Marcelo Darius got hurt, and it just began to trickle. Like you're rolling down a hill, and you can't stop. That's how I perceived the season to be last year. And then they found out that Tom Coughlin, was finding people, and he was doing things that maybe wasn't the best ethically. I don't want to say right or wrong about it, but I do know that the Players Association complained about it. And then Tom left. And once Tom left, Dave Caldwell had met with Shad Khan, so did Doug Marrone, and they came up with a plan that they were going to work together with Khan to redesign this team and build a winner. So he gave them 1 more year without Coughlin's influence.
Okay.
Everything that the Jaguars did over the last 3 seasons, 17, 18, 19, had to have Tom Coughlin's approval. Well, if Tom Coughlin approved everything, then Tom Coughlin gets part of the blame for the losses, and part of the blame for the structure of the roster, and part of the blame for the salary cap. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you eliminate that, then those 2 guys, whether fans like him or not, by the way, I love Doug Marrone. I'm excited to see what he can do without Coughlin there. They deserve 1 more year. Whether they get more than 1 year, I don't know. But Khan really couldn't bring in a new head coach and a new general manager, knowing at the time he had a quarterback who was going to get paid $22 million and may not be here in 21. That's changed.
Okay. Now, this is, okay. By the roster apparently going to be so young next season, and they're going to be playing in a tough division because
right.
The Colts figure to be better. The Texans could be better. And certainly the Tennessee Titans may be better than they were this year.
Right.
And the Jaguars, I think, only won 2 games in the whole division last season.
Right. They won 2 division games. They beat Tennessee, and then they beat Indianapolis.
And that was with Mariota as the quarterback, and not
right.
and
not Tannehill. Right.
Yeah, not Tannehill. And wasn't there the Colts starting quarterback hurt in the game?
Jacoby Brissett was the starting quarterback.
Well, he was injured though.
Right. And then they brought in Philip Rivers.
So
So the division got much better for Tennessee because they were able to retain both Derrick Henry and they were able to retain Tannehill. So that helps their offense, and they were able to sign key parts in defense and free agency. And then the Colts definitely got better offensively. Philip Rivers is there. I don't know how much he has left in the tank.
That's a question.
He's definitely an upgrade. He's a better quarterback. And plus, he loves playing the Jaguars, and he could be a Pro Bowler. He could be a Hall of Famer just based on his stats.
And now he gets to play him twice a year.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of once a year, now twice a year. Now
Right.
In Houston, things looked like they were really getting good until they traded the wide receiver.
Yeah,
That's a head
that's a subject.
scratcher.
Well, yeah. By the way, I think DeAndre Hopkins right now is the best receiver in the NFL. I'm
And
sorry, Julio, but I'm
he's
sorry, Julio.
been that for the last 2 or 3 years, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
he's really good. But I know that there was some issues with him and Bill O'Brien, the head coach in Houston. I know that he had asked to be traded. I know Bill O'Brien didn't like some of the things that went on in his in Hopkins' personal life, which, by the way, is none of his business.
It is.
Um,
It
and I,
is. Until it spills over into his professional business.
right, I know that he brought these kids to camp, and he has a close relationship with the women of his children. I know that there was some talk that maybe O'Brien wasn't real crazy about that. I don't know the whole situation, but this is football. This is not, you know,
Now Jerry
it's not like
Springer.
well, I was going to say MTV drama. How about
Yeah.
that?
Okay.
But I think that overall this division's going to be much better than it was last year.
Yeah. Overall. So now the team may be more talented. We'll say the Jaguars become more talented, but now they're less experienced.
Right.
So that's not a really good recipe for longevity for a coach or general manager.
No, it's not. But we'll see what happens. I'm not sold on the fact that it's a one and done right this moment. I know people have said it, and I said it before, but I'm doing something that us writers do, and that you guys do on the radio sometimes. I'm backtracking.
Well,
I don't think this is going to be a 2 or 3 year rebuild. It's not going to happen in one season.
now you talk about the media. The media is not going to be the judge of whether this is a successful experiment or not. The the fans in the stands will determine whether it's successful. If
Right.
if the fans gravitate to this new look Jaguar team, then they may get several more years. If they don't, if they come out and
It's a quick fix.
if they lay an egg, then they may not survive the season. I
No,
mean,
you're right. If they were to jump out, and we don't know what the schedule is going to be yet, but if they come out and they lose their first 4 or 5 games, I don't see.
and not be competitive.
Right, not be competitive. We have to see what happens.
And that's kind of what happened towards the end of last season. Had it not been for Gardner Minshew, this team would have. I don't know where they would have been. I mean,
So they probably would have won maybe 1 or 2 games.
well, I'm not even talking about the one-loss record. I'm talking about the excitement, the from the fan base. Yeah, from the fan.
Most definitely.
I mean, there wouldn't have been. I mean, you had people in the stands wearing mustaches, wearing Minshew jerseys. They really took to him. But
Definitely.
you subtract that from the Jaguars of 2019, it was a dismal season. Even if you add the 6 wins that they eventually got. Well, say for instance, if their $19 million quarterback or $22 million quarterback had won the 6 games, it would have been dismal.
Oh, it would have been.
So I think the bottom line for the Jaguars and the Jaguar Brain Trust will have to be how this team looks to the fan base.
Right. I agree with you.
So,
Most definitely.
and it's really hard to tell when you have and you're going to have a young team because of the draft picks. Some of the draft picks may be used in trades, but the vast majority of them will be on the field. And not only will they be on the field, but they will be some of the main players for the Jaguars.
Right.
Because of the way they haven't signed a whole lot of free agents, not really, and not, at least not to this point. And the free agents, their own free agents that they had, they pretty much let them go. So it's definitely going to be a young, inexperienced team.
I definitely agree, but I also think that with youth and change, some things happen. There's a thing that I call rookie novocaine,
Right.
where players don't know how not to be. They're all excited because they're there.
Right.
And they play above their capability. And fans jump on it, and it's exciting, and they start winning, and then you think, wow, all the criticism and crap that this team has endured. And I'm sorry, it's crap.
Yeah, you said it.
It's maybe not as bad as people anticipated.
Now, David, in 3 weeks, we will get a pretty good idea of how this fan base will feel towards the team, because it will be after the draft.
Right.
We'll see what the Jaguar base is talking about. Are they excited about the rookies or the incoming? You know, because in years past, I'm an old guy, go way back, and the rookies, a lot of the first round draft picks got more money than the veterans, and the reason for it was because they brought in the excitement. They were the ones that the fans were coming to see, not the veterans. They wanted to see what these young pups are going to do, and I guess the same thing is going to be with the Jaguars, the 2020 Jaguars. If they take the field, it's going to be their rookies, because we pretty much know what the veterans are. The veterans are who we thought they are, but the rookies are going to be what makes this team. And if they're not well received by the fans, then you know that they've gotten off to a rocky start.
Definitely, I agree.
Now, Tom Brady. What do you think about Tom Brady being a Buccaneer? Did you ever think in your lifetime you see Tom Brady in another uniform other than the New England Patriots?
No, I thought he'd be a Patriot for life. It makes it exciting. You've got Tom Brady playing in Tampa. You've got Philip Rivers playing for the Colts. Drew Brees is playing this year. I think this is probably going to be his last year. It makes for exciting football. This might be the last year that Ben Roethlisberger plays.
It could be.
This could be the last year for the old guard.
Now,
for sure.
Well, you said the last year. So where does Jameis Winston go? I know that all the seats are taken now. All the quarterback seats are pretty much taken. They're either going to be the veterans already have their places, and the rookies, when they get drafted, they'll have their place. And Jameis, there is no starting spot for Jameis Winston. And you can throw Cam Newton in that mix too, unless someone gets hurt.
I think that what you're going to see, first of all, there's a definite difference between Cam Newton and Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Jameis Winston wants more money than he's worth, and I know that there are general managers that would like to add him. There are head coaches that don't want him there. He's going to play for a backup role somewhere. If the Jaguars wanted to bring him in on a one-year prove-it deal, maybe $8 or $9 million, maybe that's something that happens. Because I thought he might wind up in Tampa, not Tampa.
Miami.
Miami. I thought he might wind up in Miami if the Dolphins decide they shy away from Tua. But I think that's still going to happen. I think it's going to be interesting the next week to see where both of those players land. I still think that Cam Newton winds up in Los Angeles with the Chargers.
It makes sense to me. It really does. I know they say that they like Tyrod Taylor, but
well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
Rams are now looking for a backup quarterback because Blake is a free agent. And they don't have another quarterback on the roster.
Oh, did you say that Cam Newton would wind up with the Rams?
No. I think he'll wind up with the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
When Jameis Winston could wind up with the Rams, maybe as a backup.
Oh, okay.
Given that I believe they only have Goff on the roster right now. And I may be wrong on that, but I know that Blake Bortles, their backup, was a free agent. So that makes sense. The team comes in on, Goff isn't didn't take the next step like everybody thought he would. So maybe Jameis goes out there, and if for some reason Goff doesn't play up to the standard, Winston gets a chance to rally the troops, and maybe that revitalizes his career.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It sounds like what you're saying is you think that both Cam and Jameis Winston should take a Teddy Bridgewater contract that he took down to New Orleans.
Yeah, like that one, yes, exactly.
And he stayed down there for 2 years. He bided his time and actually had a chance to prove his worth just this past season. And there's an opportunity for both of them to as well, I guess. But now, the Chargers, we know they said Tyrod Taylor will probably be their guy.
Right.
But it's going to be hard not for them to draft a quarterback. So would they bring in a veteran quarterback too?
I don't know. This all plays out like you talked about, and I know that we're running out of time, so I want to get in as much as possible. I know that the idea is that there are 3 or 4 teams in the first 10 picks that need quarterbacks. You can make it definitely. We know that Joe Burrow is going number 1 in Cincinnati. Washington has been too green with the idea of taking Tua. Detroit could actually use a quarterback for their future.
Right.
The Chargers need a quarterback. The
Yes.
Dolphins need a quarterback.
Right.
Carolina does it now, so that's taken care of. But you could see quite a bit of a shakeup, and you still also could see Cam Newton and Jameis Winston looking for a job in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's switch sports for a minute. You also say you write for the Miami, the Marlin Maniac, which follows the Miami Marlins. What's up with the Marlins? Why are they always under constant rebuild?
Okay, so
instead of reloading, they rebuild, and sometimes they're very successful. And as soon as they become successful, they tear it all down.
Yeah, this is a case of an old owner who didn't know how to properly manage baseball, and he sold the team to Derek Jeter and Bruce Sherman, who basically knocked everything down and are building it from the ground up for the last 2 years. And this year, in his 3rd year of ownership, he's finally got a team that's going to be competitive with a young pitching staff, good surrounding hitting in the middle of their lineup with some power, and a bullpen that has been restructured. This could be the year that you see them win 75 games, which for them, I mean, they won 57 last year. So, anything over 70 for them would be success. This is a team on the rise. It's going to take another two years, but they'll make the playoffs. They'll be competitive, and hopefully by the end of the decade, they'll be competing for World Series titles. He's building it quite the same way that the Yankees were built in the early 90s.
Okay. Now, but why don't they take the Houston Astros way of doing things? And I'm not talking about the cheating skit, but what they did was their scouting system was tremendous. Their first round draft picks, all of them seemed to turn out to be really, really good picks. Carlos Correa, Altuve, you name it. Bregman, all of them. And this team they're going to be together for a while.
What Michael Hill, the president of baseball operations, Jeter, and Dick Scott, who was the player personnel director, did was they took a similar approach to the Houston Astros and didn't take the same one. They made trades taking away their heavy hitters, Stan Ozuna, Yelich, D. Gordon, and traded for prospects. Those prospects turned into the Alcantara, Caleb Smith, Garrett Cooper. They did have some draft picks that they hit on with Edward Cabrera, they brought in Sixto Sanchez. These are players that in 5 years, they'll all be all-stars, they'll be common house names. They took the approach of the Astros and the Chicago Cubs and the Atlanta Braves,
right,
and they enhanced it. So the minor league system is one of the top 4 in baseball right now.
Okay.
means down the road, that's going to help this team succeed. When they did have their heavy hitters, when Stanton was hitting 57 home runs, Marcell Ozuna was approaching 40, and they had speed on the base paths, their minor league system was terrible. So he just basically flipped a switch and created his own blueprints, taking ideas from other teams and making it work for him.
Okay, all right then. So it's now 2020. So you think by 2023 this will be a competitive franchise?
I think this will be a playoff team by 23, and I think it could be a World Series champion by 25.
Okay, all right then. What do you think? Someone I heard this asked today on radio. Do you think college football will it start on time?
No.
No.
I think there should be very little, because of what they're having to do with the school systems now. I don't think it starts on time. I think you may still see it, but because spring practice has been canceled, they can't do any recruiting.
Right.
This is a dead time. Yeah, it's not like the NFL. They will have to start later if they're able to start at all.
So they may not start by Labor Day, but I heard someone today, I can't remember who it was, who mentioned, well, if they don't start, say, early September, say they start in October, and only play 10 games. They play 10 games
Right.
through October, and instead of having the bowl games in January, they have the rivalry games to kind of end the season. And I guess
Right.
after,
I've heard something about that, and I don't know enough about it, but it does make sense.
yeah, and then I guess out of all of that, then you can kind of figure out who the best 4 teams are, and then have your bowl championship. Well,
Right.
that's been I'm not sure where we are in time, but it's been a very full show.
It has been. I've enjoyed this.
I've enjoyed it, and we've got to get you in studio, sit down,
Right.
and we'll talk about more NFL, definitely more baseball, a little bit of basketball. You a basketball fan?
I'm a basketball fan, but I'm more old school than I am current school, but I can hold my own.
Okay, we'll talk a little NBA. By the way, it looks like right now, as far as sports is concerned, the only sports we're gonna get is the that 3-on-3 Ice Cube's 3-on-3.
I heard about that. Yeah, that he's starting to put that together, which I'm interested to see what he does. I know that Paul Pierce was interested.
Paul Pierce is gonna play in it. Well, now
He was interested.
this will
We'll talk
be
about that.
this will be their 3rd season, and so and they were pretty successful first couple of seasons. But if they can get a player like Paul Pierce to play,
Right.
and there's no other sports around, I think they do very well. Well,
They'll hit on something.
yeah, they'll hit on something. Our guest for this week has been David Levin. He writes for Fanside.com. He also writes for the Marlin Maniac, as well as Black and Teal, which covers the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, is there any other ventures or anything else that our audience might want to know about David before you get out of here?
I cover it on a full-time basis. I'm located here in Jacksonville. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm there at DM719907.
Okay.
That helps.
Yeah.
Check me out.
Check him out. Please check him out. Okay, until next week, and we'll be in studio again on the Sunshine Sports Report on 904 Live, 904 Live Periscope, 904 Live Facebook, and 904 Live YouTube. This has been Greg Daniels of the Sunshine Sports Report.